Hey you guys, so I need to get this watercoloring done so that I can finish up my Christmas cards for the year, which probably won't be for the year, but get my Christmas cards finished up for myself for this year, so I can get them sent out. So, anyways, my dots, they didn't turn out atrocious. And I can salvage over half of them, so yay for me. I did hit it with some hairspray, and I think I'm gonna need to do another, what are you? Hit it with another, I don't know what that is. Coat of hairspray just to keep the glitter on. Not that glitter everywhere bothers me, just I don't want it to all fall off of those, so. Sorry, I have a little bit of a headache. So, for over a week, and it shouldn't have taken a week, but I'm just extremely slow and been exceedingly tired. I've been white embossing some gingerbread men onto this mixed media Canson paper, and I like mixed media because it's thinner and it's not going to pill as fast as a normal paper, a normal cardstock. And for just simple cards, mixed media works, it's cheaper. Plus, because it's thinner, I can more easily cut out the gingerbread men with my scissors, because Kindred doesn't have matching die sets, so at least not with these. I'm not sure. I think she does have dies, but it's for like, it's not for stamp sets. It's for like, I think she has a die for like the F word or the B word. Anyways, I'm just going to get started. I pulled out my cheapest watercolor paints because I'm just doing just a covering of brown, because I embossed it white. And I've got a paper towel off to my side so I can apparently I need something to drink. So I can wipe off the white embossing powder of any brown. I highly doubt the watercolor paint is going to pigment the embossing powder because, it's cheap. But, this pan here is from my childhood, and it still works. And this came from an art kit I got from Goodwill, and this came from a grab bag from Goodwill. And then if I felt so inclined, I've got tubes of watercolor that I don't ever touch. Yeah. If nothing works in my palettes, I'll go for the tubes. I just don't want to use my good watercolors because I'd rather use them for, when I'm trying to do shading or trying to make something look really nice instead of just doing like a broad coloring of pages. So, I guess you'll see what is on these. If you've heard me talk lately, you'll probably know what's on these. But if you don't remember, I guess you will find out. So I think I'm not sure what these are going to look like, so I'm just going to moisten them. Moisten. And I'm going to spray the paper because, oh my gosh. I'm going to get my act together so that I don't sound like a complete idiot. I'm probably going to sound like a complete idiot still. But, and I got the biggest watercolor brushes that I could find. Of course, they're trashy. None of my brushes are nice except for the brushes I haven't used. So, Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Oh my gosh, just lay flat. Just lay flat. Maybe just trying to. Maybe we'll just stick a little there. There is literally glitter on everything from those gumdrops. And I have a plastic cutting mat down, not that I normally do, just so that my uber expensive cereal box doesn't, turn into a wet, soppy mess on me. So, alright, we'll see how this turns out. I have no clue if you can see any of the embossing in the camera. And I'm not sure what kind of brown I'm gonna like. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna want to go for a darker brown. I probably could have done with a lot less water. I really need to drink water. Let me just... Can you guys see it? I was talking to Milavon. He's very excited about getting a special gingerbread card for me. I was kind of hoping for a darker brown. I don't think. Could be just that I have so much water sprayed on here. So maybe if I... Where's the bucket? Did I put that? Let me just sop up some of this water because it's apparently working against me. I wanted the colors to flow. And I'm not worried about all the brush hair. Just let, according to Bob Ross, just let your painting dry and then you can brush off the brush hairs. Okay, let's try this again. This just is not as dark as I had hoped. Some more. Maybe if I got a touch of black. Sorry, I'm reaching over. I'm sorry. Get a little bit of black in there. So I heat embossed a lot because I plan on doing a 10% with these when I have time. God, this brown is just looking really red. It's looking real red. And I don't think that's going to be any better. Yeah, wow. That is much more pigmented than my watercolor set from, God, how old would that be? Over 20 years ago? Alright, we're talking now. We are talking. Apparently I'm using the uber cheap set from Goodwill. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. There we go. And I just want How am I gonna clean you off without fucking up the watercolor? Riddle me that. Well, maybe once it dries, I can then go back with the dry paper towel and see if I can lift up the watercolor from the white pigment ink. I'm really impressed with how dark this brown is, because it doesn't look as dark as the one in my childhood palette. Oh, just went into that one. Bad, bad. This brush is shedding like crazy. Shedding. Not too worried about brush strokes because it's not a big picture. It's just going to be a whole bunch of little gingerbreads cut out. So cute. Oh my god, so cute. So cute. I kind of want it darker than I think I want it, because when it dries, it'll dry lighter. Yeah, I was thinking after I had white embossed all of these, I should have just colored the paper first and then white embossed it. But I don't know, that could have been challenging on its own. If the paper bowed a little bit, then it would have been hard to get a good stamping. So I don't know. I is not a professional in any ways. Okay. I think I'm going to let that dry. Can you guys see what they are? I can't see what you're seeing. I can clean them off once the paint, once the paint has saturated the paper a wee bit. You know, if I had gone with distress, oh, do I have a brown distress ink? I don't think I do. I have vintage photo, but that's kind of a yellowy brown. So I'm going to lift this up and set it somewhere. I think I like that brown. See, I'm on a gingerbread kick too. Mine are just a little bit naughty. A little bit naughty. I have a haul video to do. I'm just going to get rid of this palette. It seems how I like this one better. These are just some, I had some small mixed media. Of course, there's one watercolor scrap, and so I just utilized those. Beautiful candy canes. What was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. Why is it resisting so much better on these candy canes? That's interesting. Interesting. It's because I didn't saturate the paper first. That doesn't make sense. Wish I could remember what I was saying. Oop, got my finger in there. So I was just looking for places to set this shit because I'm not prepared. These I'm not sure if I'll end up using because I'm having trouble believing that I'll actually be able to cut these out with a pair of scissors. If I can, I'll use them. If I can't, then I'll just have to take that time and scrap of watercolor as a loss, which is not preferable, but it's life. It is life. Ooh, fingers are brown. This is another bow tie. Brought a jar of water over here. I could just dip my brush in water, couldn't I? So with the candy canes, because I want it to look like an actual gingerbread cookie, with the candy canes I was just planning on taking a white jelly roll and perhaps the little birdie pearl drops and filling in the segments. Alright, what is this one? In the cup of water, Chelsea. In the cup of water, damn it. Let's spice up the holidays. I really want to wipe that pigment off of the letters right now, but apparently I'm going to wipe off the pigment off of everything if I do that. Alright, shall we move on to the next? So this one, I fucked up on. I fucked up on another one too. But I didn't want to waste the watercolor paper. Or, not the watercolor paper. The mixed media paper. And so, I just held it up to the light and I drew lines where I fucked up. And then I stamped and did the same thing on the other side. So, there you have it. Apparently I didn't stick anything there. I should have done that. Could have fit a candy cane there. I am going to make a Halloween gingerbread card for Mila Vaughn with that little sentiment strip that I got from Ronnie that says bite me. No, not bite me. Bite me says right there. With the little sentiment strip that says bobbing for apples, because I think that would be hilarious. And that is just the type of humor that we have. Some of these I got a little too close to the edge, but I'll make it work. It was hard to see when it's white. You know, if it's white, it's hard to see. I probably should have done the back side first because there was a smaller area to do. And I probably don't have enough sentiments for the amount of gingerbreads that I have. But I was a little bit done with this, and I figured I could come back to it. I'll show you the sets when I'm done. Hopefully this is going to dry brown enough. Should we add a little black? As I taint colors here. I feel like the black helps, but I'm going to keep doing that. hopefully this will come off. Hopefully. I'll dry one with my heat gun off camera and come back and let you know if it does or not. Because boy, wouldn't that suck if I've done a week's worth, although it shouldn't have taken a week. Week's worth of work and then fucked it all up. Some good bite me sentiments here. Okay. Apparently, I can't lay it down. I'm gonna pause it for just a second. Okay, I'm afraid to dry it with my heat gun because then I might remelt the embossing powder and then maybe the brown pigmentation will leach into the embossing powder and it's just not good. It's no bueno. So I'm going to do my best to just let it dry, and hopefully by the time I figure out whether this is going to work or not, I won't have screwed up every single one that I've done. So I had a lot of extra space on one sheet, and so I pulled out I believe it's a Whimsy stamp set with very thin lines, and did some heat embossing with those. I'm going to let the side dry real quick. And we'll just come over here. Definitely have a lot of naughty gingerbreads. I might keep a bunch of them for myself, just so I've got a stash and I don't have to go through all this rigmarole year after year. But I'm gonna take some from the fruit stand too. You never know. They like my tit and butt cards, so maybe they'll like the naughty gingers. Okay. Now I'm gonna bring back over after I wipe some of the water off of this fancy kitchen cutting mat and do this side. This too, the one I love, is from this stamp set that I recently got from Debbie Vignola. And then there's another sentiment on here that's from this stamp set. It's still in plastic packaging because I haven't decided if I'm going to keep them or not. And I'd just rather not have to try and find packaging if I decided not to keep them. But I figured To the One I Love and Enjoy the Festivities are two sentiments that could go potentially with the Naughty Gingerbreads. Flick and paint. Flick and paint. That gingerbread has an O face, even though he's not technically doing anything naughty. Ooh. Did not realize how I over embossed those. Well, I'll just have to, These ones, the lines were super, the Whimsy ones, the lines were super thin. And so I'd go to press down hard, and then a lot of the time, apparently my Versa pad would smush into the negative part of the stamp. And, oh, those are the ones that I did on the back. Alright, just ignore me. I fixed those. I stamped them on the back. So dumb. So dumb. I was like, oh no, I've got two fucked up gingerbread men on the front. That's because they're they're not fucked up counterparts are on the back, right behind them. Right behind them. It's a fun stamp set. The naughty one. These Whimsy gingerbreads didn't know they were going to be on a sheet of naughty men. Naughty gingerbread men, but they are. I can pretty much turn any stamp naughty. And they became naughty. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to let these air dry, since I apparently am too afraid to heat dry them. And then it's probably going to take me another frickin' week to get everything cut out, because I'm just so dead inside when I come home now. And, did I get all the areas? Some parts of the gingers are darker on one side than they are other. They've got vertigo. Not vertigo. That's not the word. But it's okay, because they're baked, right? They're baked. They're allowed to look uneven. Still not quite the brown I was going for. It's not, still kind of looks red. But, is that dry? It's not dry. Let me pause it for a sec. Okay, so this is the first one I did. It's still damp, and I have a feeling I'm going to have much better success once it's dry. But Impatient Chelsea wants to try now. So, this one has a lot of brush hair on it. But Bob Ross says it'll be okay. It's working-ish. I think I need a clean paper towel. And I think I really need to wait for these to dry. Yeah, it's pilling. So I really need to wait for them to dry, but hopefully, so you can't even see this gingerbread giving this gingerbread a blowjob. It'll be okay, I think. We'll see. We'll see. I'll come back at another time and show you what the finished gingers look like. These ones, ironically, with the thin lines, resisted that paint a lot more than these thick line gingerbread. Okay. Fortunately, I can't combine videos, otherwise I would just plop a new video on the end and show you how they came out, but what's my time? 30 minutes, gonna cut out. Thanks so much for watching. Yeah, thanks. Adios.